Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and Lord help me, today's film that we're going to be discussing is none other than Avengers of Justice, Farce Wars, starring Stephen Rannazzisi, Amy Smart, Shawn Michaels, Justin Castor, Rose Lane Sanfilippo, Simon Rex, Brent Tarnell, Tim J. Smith, and Tony Cavallero. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, today's film is definitely a doozy of a film. It's called Avengers of Justice, Farce Wars. Now, before I even get into this, I want you to try to imagine. Let's leave Scary Movie out of it because I've seen the first two Scary Movies. I didn't keep watching once the Wayans brothers left. The first two Scary Movies were good. So as I begin my synopsis of this film, think epic movie. Think disaster movie. Except this is Marvel meets DC meets Star Wars. Okay? I want you to keep all that in mind as I go through this. And our movie opens with a Star Wars-esque scroll telling us about the Super Bat, his wife, Jean Wonder, and how the Emperor Purple Guy has dispatched the dark jokester to do his bidding. Now, Super Bat, whose alter ego is Bruce Kent, is retired as a hero, and he keeps getting rejected by security companies when he attempts to get a real job. However, Jean Wonder still has faith in her husband. Bruce and Jean have twins, Lucas and Rhea, and on their 17th birthday, their son has yet to gain any superpowers, while their daughter keeps gaining more and more powers. When the dark jokester arrives in their town, he goes to meet up with Lisp Luthor at Lisp Corp, where the two villains begin to plot to steal Lucas's dormant power in order to power their doomsday device. Meanwhile, back in the man cave of solitude, Bruce pouts about his situation while Lucas marvels in awe at the fact that his dad knows Tony Starch. During the twins' birthday party, Jokester and Lisp crash the festivities. Lisp convinces Lucas to steal his dad's car, while Jokester provides the distraction. When Superbat attempts to assemble his team, Thorbacca, El Captain South America, and Spider-Cat, they all politely pass, which frustrates Bruce. Jean remembers that the jokester mentioned something about the naughty side of the farce, so she contacts her former yoga master, the incredible Master Yoga, in order to teach Bruce about the nice side of the farce. When Bruce and Jean wake up the next morning, they discover that Rhea has left in order to try and find Lucas. Seeking further assistance, Jean calls Lando Fury, who Bruce doesn't trust due to his eye patch, while Jokester begins to train Lucas in the naughty side of the farce. Master Yoga shows up in order to begin training Bruce. While the training commences, Jean meets up with Lando, who asks for money in order to assist. When Jean doesn't have an amount that satisfies Lando, he turns down her request. Lucas, now under the power of the dark side of the farce, assists the Joker in kidnapping Rhea and bringing her back to their lair. Meanwhile, Beaverine, an old friend and rival of Bruce's, shows up. Beaverine has always had the hots for Jean, which puts Bruce on edge. However, eventually the two put the past to rest. Rhea is able to escape from Lisp Corp and returns home, where she, along with her dad and Beaverine, decide to return in order to save Jean and Lucas. Along the way, some of Bruce's old friends decide to join the fight. Lando Fury, Spider-Cat, El Captain South America, and Thorbacca all assist in the mission by fighting Jokester's clown troopers. Superbat and Rhea are able to save Lucas and Jean, and then Bruce heads off to defeat Lisp Luthor, while Rhea destroys the Jokester with a kick to the nuts. Our movie ends with a victory party at the Kent home, where Bruce sees the ghosts of Master Yoga and Tony Starch. Like I said at the outset, throw out Scary Movie 2. Those movies were decent. This movie is up there on like disaster movie, epic movie levels. This is bad. I watched this about a year ago the first time, when I thought I was going to continue going all the way through the year before I took the hiatus, before I extended my hiatus, I should say, because I had originally figured last year to come back in time for March and April and the road to WrestleMania, and it ended up being an April Fool's joke, which was not intended to be, because my living situation changed and I needed to move. But I figured to do this movie last year. So I watched it, took my notes, everything. I actually had to subject myself to watching it again just so I could refresh my memory, even though I already had my notes, before I sat here and talked to you guys about it. Hopefully, those will be the only 2 times I'll ever have to watch this movie. Unless I get high off my ass. And considering I don't smoke weed, I don't see that happening. This movie, I will say it tried. It tried hard. But the fact that there's basically nobodies in this movie doesn't help it at all. If there was at least a few established stars in this, it might be forgivable. It might be more tolerable. But it's not. There aren't. I've seen Shawn Michaels act before. In fact, the last time I did movies that star wrestlers, I reviewed a movie called 90 Feet from Home. Much more serious, dramatic role for Shawn. If you missed that review, I'll link it up here. But he was so good in that. And to be fair, as the incredible Master Yoga, he was freaking hilarious in this. Arguably one of the high spots in this abysmal movie. However, it's not enough to save the movie. He very much was his DX reunion persona here, just over the top goofy, and it worked for the type of movie that we were doing. But I mean, some of the characters and the names, it's just so obvious that it's bad. I mean, Bruce Kent, Superbat, Superman, Batman. Lucas and Rhea, twins. Luke and Leia. The Incredible Master Yoga, Jedi Master Yoda. Jean Wonder, Jean Grey, Wonder Woman. Beaverine has a crush on Jean. It's Wolverine and Jean Grey. Lisp Luthor, the dark jokester. Even the Emperor Purple guy is supposed to be the Emperor and Thanos. If you're in the mood for a very stupid movie, give it a watch. I mean, I found this film at Dollar Tree, so I only paid a buck, buck and a quarter for it. It's worth that. Anything more than that, you've spent too much. Way too much. If you can find this movie for that price, even at your local Dollar Tree, then go to the snack aisle, get one of those 3 packs of popcorn for a buck also, buck and a quarter. $2.50, you got some popcorn in a movie, go for it. Anything more than that, you've spent too much. When it comes to my rating for this film, only because they did try and because Shawn Michaels was so good funny, I give this 1.5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely one of the worst movies that stars a wrestler that I've ever seen in my life. Those of you that have seen Avengers of Justice, Farce Wars, what do you think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as we present once again another week's worth of Throwback Thursday content. That's right, it's going to be the 3rd week we've done this, so we're going to be bringing to you the 3rd episodes of Talk Wrestling, A Hearty Conversation, No DQ and AV, Renegade of Wrestling, Stat Boy Rants, Dads on Wrestling, the Indie Force Podcast. We're going to bring you the first official episode of Open Mic Night. Last week's episode was the pilot before it spawned into what you know it as today. And then we're also going to be premiering the very first episode of the Simple Man Studios ATW View. You don't want to miss out on any of that Throwback Thursday content. And then on Friday, back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, it'll be time for another episode of Renegades Reviews, and it'll be a look at the rated R superstar Edge in Money Plane, which also stars Kelsey Grammer, Thomas Jane, and Denise Richards. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Throwback Thursday, Money Plane, and so much more in store over the course of the weeks and the months here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. You don't want to miss any of it. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of scary movie, fans of epic movie, fans of disaster movie, fans of the Avengers, fans of the Justice League, fans of Shawn Michaels, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and begin making some money on the hard work I've put into this channel over the course of the last 2 years. Thank you once again to everyone who joined me and tuned in today. I especially thank you for today because this movie definitely was what it was. Thank you for joining me and tuning in today. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.